Okay, alright. Hi and welcome back to our educators. So untuk hari ni saya nak record video for chapter 2 Matter and the Atomic Structure in English version. I already recorded for the Malay version, so ni fully akan English version lah. Okay, so for this chapter can be asked in your paper 1 and paper 2. Okay, they can ask in both of this paper, but no experiments in this chapter that can be asked in your practical test lah. Okay, so the keywords for this topic is atom, ion, molecule, proton number, nuclear number, electron arrangement, isotopes, and natural abundance. Okay, we do have about atom, ions, and molecules. Okay, so these three things. Okay, let me to change the colors kejap. I feel like this color better tak? Tak juga. Okay, tak apa. This color. Okay, atom, ion, and molecule. Okay, atom dia cara nak ingat lah, have only one capital letter on its chemical formula. Okay, while ion is combination of metal and non-metal. Okay, metal and non-metal. So you should know how to differentiate metal and non-metal by using the periodic table. And the last one, molecule, is combination of non-metal and non-metal. Okay, of non-metal and non-metal. So ramai student tak menguasai this basic thing. This one is basic, you know, so you should be able to use this basic concept very well by time. Okay, sorry screen saya besarkan sikit. Okay, and then what you will learn, there are four main concepts. Basic concepts of matter, the development of the atomic model, atomic structure, and isotopes and its uses. So all these four can be asked in paper 2 or paper 1. So make sure you understand everything correctly. Okay, then we just go inside of the topic. Okay, fundamental. Okay, so this topic is still under the fundamental of chemistry. Okay, it's just a basic for your chemistry. Okay, so first thing first, we are going to talk about basic concepts of matter. Okay, what does matter means? Matter means something that can occupy space and it has mass. Okay, this, if the thing have these two characteristics, then only we call this as a matter, or else we won't classify the thing as a matter. Do remember about that. Okay, let's say I give you an example. Okay, you have rainbow. Can you see rainbow? Okay, this rainbow, do you know how much was the weight of the rainbow? No, you don't know. So it is not a matter, as simple as that. Okay, next example, if let's say in our surrounding we have oxygen, right? Can you weigh the oxygen? Can you say, oh, I exhale 32 grams of oxygen from my bronchitis? Can you say like that? No, you cannot say that like that. That is not a correct way. You cannot weigh your oxygen. So those things are not matter. Understand? Okay, and then okay, before I get started actually with the more detail, at the end of this lesson you should be able to describe matter briefly. So I already told you how to describe matter briefly. I already gave the tips just now. Okay, second, explain the changes in state of matter and determine the melting point and freezing point of naphthalene through activity. Okay, so we will be covering this another two objectives after this. Okay, so basically I do told you that matter is something that can occupy space and has mass. Apart from that, it consists of particles that are tiny and discrete. Okay, what does tiny and discrete? Okay, this is tiny and discrete. Okay, clear lah. This is tiny and it's discrete. Okay, so that's what we call as tiny particles and discrete. Okay, matter can exist in three states, namely solid, liquid, and gas. So if anyone asks you what is state of matter is only these three. Okay, solid, liquid, and gas. So if anyone asks you what does the state of matter, your answer should be either three of these. And if anyone asks you type of particles, okay, if type of particles, then your answer should be atom, ion, or molecule. It depends on the question. So this is something that I want you to take note, okay? You wajib tahu state of matter, only these three is the answer, while type of particles only this one. Okay, so I hope you are clear right now. So I padam benda ni. Okay, as this chemistry lens, they are telling about, okay, apart from liquid, solid and gas, we do have another one state of matter which is called as plasma. Okay, plasma is ionized gas. Okay, but in your syllabus we doesn't teach you detail about this thing. So what I want you to do is just read and take note about this, because this chemistry lens can become your paper 1 question later. Okay, and then next one, changes in the state of matter. Okay, so for this video I think I'm going to cover until here. Okay, and then I'll be doing another one video for this this part, for this matter stuff, and then only I will be continuing with this melting and boiling point, all these things lah. Okay, so I want you to betul-betul pay attention on my lesson. Okay, so first thing first, ice cream that is left at room temperature, highlight, absorbs heat energy, highlight, and changes from solid to liquid. Meaning that, okay, if let's say your mom bought the ice cream in the TF or Tesco ke mana-mana lah, now it's Lotus. So after you leave it in room temperature, let's say your house have a dining table, right? You take the ice cream, you put 2 scoop and you letak it in the dining table and pergi. After 1 hour when you come back, you see it dah already changed, dah melt, dah jadi air kan. So that is what this statement is talking about. So how does, from being a rocky shape, from this solid, how does it turns out to be a liquid? So basically, from a solid to be a liquid, the solid need to absorb energy. So when they absorb energy, then only they can cause the particles to move freely, and the particles will won't pack tightly, you know. So that's what I'm trying to say here. And then next one, at night, glass windows release heat to the surroundings, causing the surface of the glass windows to become cold. Okay, water vapor in the air comes in contact, surface loses heat and forms water droplet. So this is something about condensation. Actually, it's interconnected with that, but no problem. It's just a few examples only on how does change of in the state of matter. So when people are talking about change in state of matter, you should know two things: changing from what to what, and absorb heat or release heat. You should know about these two things, then only you can come for further discussion on this topic. Do you get my point? Unless if you tak faham this both, then don't ever try to estimate that you are very good in this topic. No, you should know about these two things before you go deep on state of matter. Okay, if I gave you something like the ice cream just now, you should say that the ice cream is changing from solid to liquid. So what are the process? The process is by absorbing heat. Okay, this is how we want you to understand and evaluate the basic concepts. Okay, moving on. I hope my teaching is not so fast. Okay, figure 2 shows the conversion among states of matter in the process of heat absorbed or released. When the heat energy absorbed or released, change occurs in the kinetic energy arrangement of particle, and attraction forces between the particle causes the state of matter to change. Okay, let's say you have ice cream, right? Okay, so when the ice cream absorbs heat, it turns out to be liquid, right? So when it should be liquid, so there is a difference in the kinetic energy, the movement, okay, the energy that each molecule have to move, arrangement of the particles. Because when it is a solid, when the ice cream is in solid, the particles are packed closely, but when it comes to liquid, they are closely packed but not orderly manner. Tak exactly, okay, like solid kan, dia akan susun macam ni, dekat-dekat, betul-betul dekat, semua dekat-dekat. But for liquid, it may be something like this. Nampak tak? Dia still dekat tapi not very dekat like solid. Faham? And attraction forces. Okay, so these three things you should evaluate for a state of matter. If you want to talking about solid, you should know about the kinetic energy of the particles. You should know about the arrangement, and of course you should do know about the attraction forces. So every explanation here is focusing about that two things. Okay, let's say, okay, I'll be erasing this one. Okay, so you do have solid here changing to liquid and to gas. Okay, so from solid to be liquid. Okay, so you have a ice cube. Okay, let's say this is your ice cube, and after it gets contact with the sunlight, it's melt. So from solid it's becoming liquid. So it's, what's the word that I used, verb just now, melting. So the process from being a solid to a liquid is called as melting. Do you get my point? And the process from being a liquid, the water, like I said just now, after it melts, the water, when it transfers to the environment through a water vapor, so it is called as evaporation or boiling. Boiling is when you are boiling, that you panaskan air tu jadi macam uap and naik, that is boiling. Or evaporation, you simply leave, like the ice cream just now, dah jadi liquid, you simply leave on the table, it will start to evaporate. That's the thing. Okay, so all of these processes are coming from up to down, right? Okay, so all of these are absorbing energy, while from solid, okay, let's say you have the ice cube like what I said just now, and it straight away be vapor, straight away tukar jadi water vapor. So this is what we call as sublimation. Okay, and next one, from gas to liquid, condensation from liquid to solid is freezing, and then of course from gas to solid is deposition. Okay, I want you to memorize all this. You have to memorize, then lama-lama dia akan hafal. Okay, wajib you memorize with the movement of energy, heat energy, whether the heat absorbed or released. So you should memorize this exactly. Okay, don't ever skip anything. Alright, okay, let's get to next point. Okay, solid. Okay, this is solid, right? Okay, how does solid works? Okay, solid, usually the particles in solid, okay, we do have something as called solid, right? So this whole thing is solid, and each one of this particle is called a particle, is closely packed in an orderly manner, meaning dia bersusun rapat secara tertib. Okay, betul-betul rapat, kemas. And then the kinetic energy is very low. Okay, why do the kinetic energy is very low? Because kinetic energy is the energy that were produced when particles are moving. So when it is closely packed in a orderly manner, it cannot move. So the kinetic energy for sure is low. Kinetic energy would be higher when the particle move. Do you understand? Do you understand my point correctly? And last one, attraction force between particles are stronger. Yeah, how do I say that? Okay, you see these particles, you see it's closely packed, right? Betul-betul rapat, macam very nice. So means that dia pegang kawan dia betul-betul, dia pegang kawan dia, lekat dengan dia betul-betul. So what I'm trying to say is the attraction force of each particles is very strong. So that's why they are closely packed in an orderly manner. So I want you to remember all these three. Liquid also closely packed but not in orderly manner, and the kinetic energy of the particle is higher than solid but lower than liquid for sure, and attraction force is strong but less strong than solid. Okay, sebabnya you tengok dia macam tak berapa rapat, dia macam ni, macam ni, macam ni, macam ni. So dia tak betul-betul rapat. You nampak that? So it is, the attraction force is not very strong. Okay, and then gases. Okay, gases, the particles are far apart. Okay, this is gas. Okay, you see the particles in a bekas, the particles are jauh-jauh. So the particles are far apart, and kinetic energy is very high because it can move freely, and then it can collide simply. Hence the attraction forces is very low. So do remember that if people are talking about attraction forces, solid punya yang high, solid punya high. Okay, But if people talk about kinetic energy, of course gas punya I. Gas punya high. Dapat. So this is what I want you to understand for this basics. So I think I've already explained to you about this stuff correctly and perfectly. This video has become very lengthy, so I want to stop here. So I'll meet you in another one video with a new lesson. But please lah, bagi yang tak menguasai lagi, for my tuition student especially, tolonglah study dari sekarang. Don't study late, okay? I'm taking my 100% effort nak bagi you guys dapat A. So please lah, respect my effort and try to get something. Okay, but do remember that I want you to memorize this whole figure 2.2 because it can be an exam question for sure. I can guarantee 100%. Okay, so that's all from me for now. Bye.